So in this video, we're going to look at the set timeout functions. This is also in those time functions in the control panel. So basically a set timeout function just makes code wait a certain number of seconds before it runs. So this is automatically set to 1 second or 1,000 milliseconds, but I'm going to do 2 seconds. And to keep this running pretty quickly, just so we can see how it works, I'm just going to have it console log working. So when I press the run button, I should see that it's going to wait 2 seconds and then console log working. So 1,000, 1,000, and then we see the word working down here. Okay. Now I can do multiple timeout functions at the same time, but before we do that, sometimes I want something to happen after a certain number of seconds, but maybe something else stops it from happening. So how we deal with that, and I'm actually going to use a button to work with this. So let's say after 2 seconds, I want this to say working, but if they press the button, I want to cancel that. So what I need to do, I'll get a event handler for button 1 or button 3, I guess, because I had done some coding before. So this is button 3. When I press button 3, I'm going to clear the timeout. So I'm not going to use the timeout. Now you'll see I need a parameter here. So this is going to be a little different. Basically, if you had multiple timeouts, you need to specify which timeout you're clearing. So since we only have one, we still do need a parameter, or this is going to throw an error. Now the way I do that, basically the timeout is returning something, even though we can't see it. So if I set a variable equal to this timeout function, so this whole timeout function, I'm going to go over to blocks just so you can see it a little better, is now equal to this variable. So I want to clear timeout. Which timeout do I want to clear? I want to clear the one stored as X. So I'm just going to put an X here, and then that should work. So if I run this and I press button 1 in time, it never says working. But if I run it and I don't press button 1 in time, it will say working, and then this doesn't really make sense because it's already run that. Now, just very quickly, if I want to do another timeout, so I am actually going to start with the variable knowing I need it if I want to clear it. So I'm going to make this one be Y. And then I'll put my timeout function in here. This one I'm going to do after 4 seconds. So I bring in a message. And I'm just going to type right now. So I'm going to kind of ignore this event handler. I'm not going to press anything. Forget about the fact that we can clear them. And we're just going to see if we run this now, this should happen after 2 seconds and that should happen after 4 seconds. Now they're not in a row. So this should happen 2 seconds. This won't happen 4 seconds later. It's going to happen 4 seconds from when I press run. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, and then I see the other message. Now, if I want another button, and that can control stopping the other timeout function, then I'm just basically going to do the same thing. Another event handler, and there can be lots of things like an if statement, and then you could have the clear timeout in there. There's lots of different ways that you might want to stop this from happening. So I'm going to clear timeout Y. So this button can stop the right now from happening. This one can stop the working from happening, and I have to press the buttons before the time when they should happen. So I'm just going to run it, and I forgot to specify button 4. So I'm going to run it. I'm pressing this one, and just working happens. Maybe I press this one. We're not going to see working, and we'll wait the full 4 seconds to see the right now. And if I press both buttons pretty quickly, then nothing should print down here. So this is stopping something we're waiting for.